Hello everyone, back again doing some Day of Reckoning 2 matches. We got a Royal Rumble match. I'm going to go lay down for a bit. I'm going to go ahead and throw this on, and basically the match ends when I get thrown out. And yeah, I'm just going to go close my eyes for a bit and throw this on. I'm going to put some audio in the background. Hopefully you guys will enjoy. Hopefully you guys get the sense of humor out of it. It's where you have to make content to, you have to get content out to get monetized and whatnot. Excuse me. And so this is the situation we're in, and that's what we're doing at the moment. So thank you guys for watching. I put everybody in here. I put people who have never won a Royal Rumble match too. So let's see who actually ends up winning this. Who's never won one?
Welcome to my cool YouTube channel.
And I was actually surprised. There's only like
major announcement
40-ish people to play as on here. I thought there was a lot more.
I am
straight.
Yes, not.
All right. Well, thank you guys.
April Fools.
Have a good rest of the day. I love you. Bye.
Of course I'm kidding. April Fools. Gotcha. Ugh, gross. Couldn't even imagine being like that. No, I'm happy and obviously very, very proud to be who I truly am on the inside, which of course is one big happy unicorn, right? Gotcha. So since it's April Fools and we're all silly, I thought I would find the lamest April Fool's pranks and tell them to you so you could pull them on your friends and family. And this is according to the really hip and cool people on the Today Show. You know, these people that organically
be
become famous on TV because they're so talented and funny and so much better than the rest of us. But thankfully, there's things like YouTube. So any of us out there who may not have gone through, you know, Ivy League schools or the Tavistock Institute, a lot of us out there like me and you, we can organically become popular on YouTube because the cream always rises to the top. They don't suppress that here. So I'm going to give you some of the 26 hilarious April Fool's pranks from the biggest dork, the coolest people on the planet, the crew of the Today Show. So here we go. Number one, frozen breakfast. Put cereal and milk in a bowl and let it freeze overnight. When your hungry kids try to dig in, they'll get quite the surprise. Well, that just sounds straight up abusive, doesn't it? I mean, what? That's a live viewer? That's not abusive? Freeze your kids, that's what? So they chip their tooth? I mean, come on. All right, number two. Swap sleepers. That's not corny. If your kids are heavy sleepers, carry them into their siblings' bed and let them wake up in a different room to start April Fools on the right foot. No, that's actually called trauma-based form of fun. That's trauma right there. Okay, first of all, removing your child from the room could be pretty traumatic because it could be an abductor, especially in today's world with how they're training people to be completely out of control, unhinged and psychotic. Also, when your child wakes up in a different place, that's probably traumatic. So I'm going to have to, again, say, don't do that. Number three, juice joke. This is really sick, by the way. This is from the Today Show. If I did a video like this, this would be considered some type of criminal thing, right? Anyway, juice joke. Care for a drink? When your family tries taking a sip of this juice, they'll find out it's really Jell-O. And they put a picture of Jell-O in a cup. I don't even think I'm going to remember to reuse it. That was pretty lame. This sounds gross. Number four, I'm not even remember the numbers here. All right, underwear surprise. Here's another one. Swap out the contents of their underwear drawer for bathing suits for an early morning prank that'll get all the laughs. Would you really laugh if you woke up, next to me, or I woke up next to you, or you woke up next to your husband, or whomever, and you open the underwear drawer at 7 in the morning and your underwear wasn't in there, and what was in there was your bathing suit? Would you really laugh, or would you just be like, oh, right? I mean, that is pretty corny. Okay, next one up. It's called I See You, like as in all-seeing eye. It says, give your kids a laugh by attaching googly eyes to everything. Well, that sounds like a dork sense of humor. Next up, balloon closet or drawer. I'm sure they would pick red balloons too, by the way. Fill your child's closet or dresser drawers with balloons. When they wake up for school and look for an outfit, they'll be in for a colorful surprise, right? All red balloons. Next up, toilet paper message. Right? April Fools in the toilet paper, apparently. Unroll the toilet paper and leave a funny message for the unsuspecting user. I'm laughing because I was thinking of a joke, man. One option, you're going to wash your hands, right? Scribble a note. No. I was thinking more the lines of like, surprise, an exclamation point. You've got graphene oxide in you. And something like that would be pretty funny, to me at least. But also sick, I guess, right? So anyway, next up, honk for April Fools. So yeah, let's start some road rage, right? Let your practical jokers put a sign on your car that reads, my kids are playing an April Fool's joke on me. Honk and wave at me. This joke is even funnier if they get to take a ride in the car with you. Speech. Some of this stuff is so lame. I don't even know what to say. Next up, this is Today's Show, folks. Again, all these people are organically famous. But by the way, I mean, if you know anybody who thinks these people are funny, these people like Stephen Colbert, the Today Show people, I mean, you want to talk about manufactured human. These people couldn't even be bigger dorks, by the way. Anyway, next up, toothpaste switcheroo. But again, by design. I'm sure these people in real life are really psychotically sick. But they act like that way, that way on TV because that's how they formulate behavior. Oh, right, I forgot what channel I'm on. Formulate behavior. Anyway, toothpaste switcheroo. Surprise your kids this April Fools with a little toothpaste switch. After breakfast, hand over their toothbrush, but instead of the usual white paste, opt for something creamy and sweet. Cream cheese or vanilla frosting will do the trick. If they use a colored kids' tooth gel, try using cake decorating gel instead. A little too much time going to that. Here's another sick one. Bugs in your juice. Well, how is that even an April Fool's prank? I put bugs in my juice. I eat bugs. So why is that a bad thing? That's very judgmental. But this it's an oldie and a goodie. This prank's very easy to make at home with this tip. Add almost boiling water to the ice cube trays and toss in a few plastic bugs. The hotter the water, the more clear the ice will be when frozen. Next up, sweet trick. Offer up brownies as an afternoon snack, but everyone will be shocked when they find brown letter E's. Get it? Brown E's instead. That was real funny. Milk shenanigans. Add a few drops of food coloring to the cartoon of milk when your child goes to pour it into her glass or bowl or cereal. She'll get a colorful surprise. Bright pink or blue or green milk. I got a good one of my own. Find the closest neighbor that has a flag up that's blue and yellow from another country and get a dozen eggs. April Fools came early. Mr. Knight came early. No? All right, I'm kidding. Anyway, bath time hoax. Using a Q-tip, apply gel food coloring around the inside of the faucet in the bathtub or sink. When the faucet is turned on, you're left with colored water. Okay? Pillow prank. Just when they thought April Fool's Day was over, here's one last prank. Remove the pillows and fill their pillowcases with several partially inflated balloons. That sounds like it could be dramatic when it pops in your ear and makes you deaf, or somebody has PTSD and then you got a real problem. But when they put their head down to sleep, they realize they're on a balloon and you get the last laugh. April Fools, I've caused you more trauma. Next up, cupcakes for dinner. Your kids will think you're the coolest mom ever. For a moment, at least, but bake up mini meatloaves in the muffin cups. Don't forget the colorful wrappers. Then frost them with creamy mashed potatoes. See how long it takes your kids to realize that you really aren't that cool after all. And that's, of course, if you have 17 free hours a day to make meatloaf muffins covered in mashed potatoes. It sounds like a lot of work for a joke that no one's going to end up eating. Next up, whoopee cushion. Of course, the old whoopee cushion. We'll just skip through the explanation of it. Salty hot chocolate. This also sounds a bit abusive. Instead of adding sugar to the drink, add salt. I guess it's better than adding X-Lax. Your kids may be excited for the first sip of the warm, sweet drink. But that first sip will surprise them. Yep, so just give them a little bit more sodium because they don't have enough already in every single food that's manufactured. So dump a little sodium in their hot cocoa. They won't even know the difference because they're so used to getting stuffed with it. That's why most people are so blown up. But anyway, that of course high fructose corn syrup. But don't eat meat, folks. Don't eat meat. Next up, alarm clock fast forward. Yeah, until Johnny gets laid off from his job because he comes in an hour late. But anyway, oh right, this society, you're allowed to come in a few hours late. Only if you're a certain skin color or a certain gender, of course, because Anyway, we all want as much sleep as the next person before work or class. Push the time on your kid's clock a couple hours forward and watch your kid's reaction when they realize they're ready for their 9 a.m. class at 7. Oh, okay. So why don't you just cause them trauma, make him exhausted so he can't pay attention in class? I mean, Some of these are, I mean, it's not sick, but like, you know, if you were living with that person and they did it to you, like, would you probably slap them? I mean, I can't even say that because that's assault now, so I wouldn't even say. Anyway, a bedtime classic. Borrow a summer camp classic and short sheet your kid's bed before bedtime. When they try to get in, you'll have the last laugh. That's pretty bad. Fake cake pop. This sweet treat is hiding a savory scent. The sad about it is somebody's probably making like 70, 80 grand, maybe even 100 at the Today Show writing this. Okay? Now, this was, I guess, aired on TV, too. But I'm reading you from the article. So, yeah. Anyway. Okay, fake cake pop. This sweet treat is hiding a savory center. Put a raw Brussels sprout on a lollipop, stick it and cover it with chocolate frosting and sprinkles if you want to be the lamest parent on the planet. Right? Or, of course, I'm sure there's people out there that put human organs inside theirs. Right? Probably the people who are producing the Today Show. That's what they're doing behind closed doors anyway. All right, tricky TV remote. Right, you know what the greatest April Fool's joke ever played is? The one they're playing on us right now in the media. Yeah, it's also very abusive. Anyway, ever had to mediate a family fight over who gets to choose the channel? Thankfully, I haven't. This prank will leave everyone equally confused. Put a piece of black electrical tape over the remote sensor on your TV and watch your family try to change the channel with no luck. Well, probably be the best thing that happened as long as the TV's off. That would actually be interacting between the family. It would probably take them 25 hours to figure out what it is, since people nowadays have the IQ of a beetle, but okay. All right, celebrity photo swap. This prank will test just how observant your family members are the night before April Fool's. Replace all your framed family photos with pictures of your favorite celebrity. Yeah, again, if you have the free time. Why, jeez. Have you have the free time for a really bad prank? Wait and see how long it takes for your family to realize that your Christmas card photos have been replaced by action shots of Dwayne Johnson, right? Of course, these people won't know the difference because they live in fantasy land and worship false idols, and they already imagine themselves married to these people anyway. So, again, these are lib jokes, right? So, short shoes. When your kids try to put on their shoes before school on Monday, they'll be wondering why their feet have grown several inches. Stuff the toes of your kids' shoes with cotton or wool. Pop goes the bubble wrap. There's only 2 left, thank goodness. This gag will start off April Fool's Day with a bang. Put a layer of bubble wrap under areas that your family frequently walks on, such as the bath mat, kitchen rug, or living room carpet. Then they'll jump when the ground starts popping underneath their feet. It's like the Home Alone scene where they put the firecrackers in the pot, right? Leave it on the doorstep and get out of here. Right? The only difference is, of course, your family member will probably think there's somebody with a gun, and they will probably have a heart attack. Who will be liable? Will it be the Today Show? No, it won't, because you can't sue any of these people. Trust me. Would have done it already if I could, if this system was set up to protect us from these tyrants, but it's not. Last one. Not so slippery soap. Carefully dry off your family member's bar soap, then cover it thoroughly with clear nail polish or Elmer's glue. Wait for it to dry, then put it back in the shower. Your unsuspecting target will be confused when they can't get their soap to lather, and it's a perfect last one because, of course, why not just drop the soap? I mean, I drop the soap for YouTube every day, so you know what I mean. Oh boy, yeah. So pretty much saying to do that so that your partner drops the soap, man. See what I'm saying? Probably doing. Yeah, I won't say any more than that. Okay. Anyway, I got to be careful with the algo. I don't want to waste my time too much. So anyway, folks, those were some non-hilarious April Fool's pranks from the Today Show. Of course, if you disagree with the Today Show, you got to be careful. So I have to say, they're really funny, Algo. This is hilarious. Sorry, that's for the algorithm. So funny, right? So funny. But at the end of the day, the joke's really on these people, these tyrants that are making us do this to get the truth out. But, ladies and gentlemen, the big April Fool's, of course, is me saying I'm straight. So, April Fool's, gotcha. Have a great week, everyone. Let me know your April Fool's pranks that you're pulling on your loved ones in the comment section below. Bye, everybody. everybody, welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm doing all sorts of fun activities here, preparing for the eclipse, preparing for padded route, no, preparing for all sorts of fun things to occur here on this channel, of course, and I'm trying to build this out and hoping that YouTube puts me into the partner program so I can accelerate out and reach new people with cool content. Of course, my goal, as is everybody's goal in life, is to become the next PewDiePie. Although I guess PewDiePie isn't really around much anymore from what I hear. I mean, what I see, because I'm a huge fan. The next Mr. Beast, not to be confused with the Mark, of course. And today I want to do a board game walkthrough. You guys like board games? Cool. Because this channel's all about fun and games. So I found this weird game. It was called Pandemic? Or Pan? Like Pan, Peter Pan, or Pan. You know what I mean? The Pied Piper. That's what it's called. And I was like, well, that's really cool that there's a board game called that. Because, like, we went through a lot of crazy stuff in the last couple of years. So we can all look back on it and laugh now, right? Because it's all over with. It's not like it's going to happen again. Wink, wink, right? So someone made a board game all coincidentally. And, of course, I think the game came out before everything that happened came out. But that's not something to be suspicious of at all. So I want to do a walkthrough to tell you how the game is played. So here's a picture, of course, of the game itself. You can see this board game. It almost looks like they're playing a game of Risk, just it's a different game, right? And they're moving things around like chess pieces. You can see the effect on all the countries and everything. And then there's like cards on the bottom, you know, which is cool because I remember a board game that had cards. There was more of a card game. It's called like the Luminoto card game, and then all those cards, those things actually came to fruition that happened in them, which is crazy, which is of course all coincidental. So anyway, let's take a look at how this game works, because I know you guys want to run to Walmart and go pick up a version of it, even though we're living a real life version of it. Okay, so it's a cooperative game, because of course it's all about cooperating, right? When something like this happens in real life, we all need to fully cooperate.
What's going on, guys?
Okay, and
Thanks
if you
for
don't
checking it out.
cooperate, well, you're going to be put in a little bit of a camp that ends with the word EMA, right? So the game is about cooperation. It's a cooperative game where players are trying to discover the cure to 4 diseases ravaging throughout the world. The game begins by dealing players cards out of a player's deck, then seeding the deck with what they call, I don't like to use this word, but I'll use it, epidemic cards, which serve to make things suddenly very bad in a random location and to increase the pressure on the players. That sounds very interesting, you know? Very interesting. Make things suddenly very bad at random or in random locations. Okay, so in Pandemic, the board game, you and your friends will take actions to move around the world. Treat diseases. Well, of course, that's good because there's only one way to treat a disease. So hopefully it has the real science in the game too. Okay, and I think it's something to do with oxide. Oxide. And then like, do you know Graphite in your pencil? Kind of like melt that down. You mix it up a little old 666 oxide, you know? Anyway, I'm just being silly. All right, so anyway, you move around the world to treat diseases, which removes 1 disease cube from the location your player pawn is in. And of course, it's so convenient that it's a player pawn. You know, might as well call it person pawn, right? And then little cubes, no relation whatsoever to Saturn's cube either. Okay, it's a disease cube. Okay, so, you know what I mean? Okay, so build research stations and trade cards with each other. So you're going to build little research stations too. They'll be like little EMA camps. And inside of those, you know, maybe inside of the research station, we'll get people in there. We'll do experiments on them and make sure we keep them in there for, you know, a week or 2. Okay, I got to be careful. The goal of the game is to discover all 4 cures by discarding 5 cards of the same color while your pawn is at a research center. Players all lose together if the player deck runs out or if the outbreak tracker hits 0. This sounds like fun for the whole family, folks. You confused at this point? Don't be confused. It's just a little predictive, you know. I mean, who is buying this and playing this with their kid? What kind of a lippy do you have to be? You're like, let's get this. And then, oh, my 6-year-old's going to figure out how to cure the disease over in Antarctica. Right? While all the people are in Antarctica underground, you know. See what I did there? All right, so anyway. Is anyone really getting this for their kid? I mean, I was just reading to you how the goal of the game is to discover all 4 cures. By discarding 5 cards of the same color while your pawn is at a research center, players all lose together if the player deck runs out, or if the outbreak tracker hits 0, or if you ever need to place a cube or a specific color, but you've run out. Yeah, okay, that makes a lot of sense. What? With 3 ways to lose, players are sometimes forced to figure out which crisis is the most demanding before choosing which actions to take. Or the players are forced into taking something that they don't want to take, or they won't be allowed to buy or sell, or to have a living, or a job. Isn't that funny? It's funny how it works, isn't it? Alright, so anyway, to begin the game, 9 cards are drawn from the Infected Cities deck, with 3 disease cubes placed on the first 3 cities, 2 cubes on the next 3 cities, and 1 Saturn's cube on the final 3 cities. Which, with this initial seed, seed planting, all right, and some potential hotspots, the stage is set. All players begin in Atlanta, the home of the, well, I won't say what, but it starts with a C, it has the letter D in between, and it ends with a C. And then the game is on, right? So that's crazy, isn't it? That's crazy. So this person gave a review, who I'm reading their breakthrough, their absolutely life-altering breakthrough of the game. It's about a 25-paragraph explanation of the review. That was just a walkthrough of the directions. But I'll read the last 2 paragraphs to you so we can extend time here. This person writes, because Pandemic is easy to learn, just kind of like a lot of people learn the rules and regulations to the last one, and the protocols to follow. It's often used as an on-ramp to the world of board games, showing players there's more to this cardboard hobby than rolling dice and slowly calling your army around the world. I won't go there. There's joy and teamwork, elation and tension, and it shows that not everything needs to be a competition. My wife and I love cooperative games. that love started with Pandemic. Since then, we've moved on to other great cooperative games, like Burgle Bros and now Boarding, both designed by Tim Fowers. And I've had a lot of enjoyment playing the Pandemic spin-off games like Pandemic The Cure, Pandemic Fall of Rome, and Pandemic Rising Tide. This guy's got a lot of free time, by the way. I mean, him and his wife have their role play. They've moved on. This is role playing, yeah. They've moved on to greater cooperative games. These people are really cooperating. I'm sure they cooperated in the real life game too. What do you guys think? Do you think they cooperated? Do you think they play the game at home and they wear a diaper on their face? I think they do. I can tell that they do. I just wonder what it's like to have that kind of free time. And to waste that kind of money, right? To buy 4 versions of this game. Okay, who am I to judge, right? I don't know. So it says, if you haven't played the game or any other cooperative games, I cannot suggest it enough. If you play it enough and start to feel tired on what the base box is offering, there's 3 expansions that drastically change up how the game is played, including many more character roles, a 5th disease, whoa! Is that Disease X? And mutations that make each of the diseases act in different ways. Well, of course there's mutations, but the reality is many of the mutations as there are, it's really the person who's playing the game who's got the mutation. If you're playing the game and cooperating with the rules of the game, okay, you're actually the one who's mutating. Okay, I won't go any further than that. So the person who bought the game, I mean, do we have to even take a guess about the person who bought the game? I bet if you drove by their house, they probably have one of those flags, with a big blue stripe and a big yellow stripe, even though they live in America. They got one outside their home. They don't know what they're doing. They don't have a clue as to why they even have it there. Probably have one on their mailbox, too. Right? Probably walk around with those, red glasses, the reading glasses, spiky short hair for the lady, right? The guy's real thin and scrawny and, dressed a certain way, talks a certain way, So that's the person who probably has this game at their house and thinks it's good fun. And they don't even realize they're being conditioned into making sure they cooperate because it's a cooperative game. So I probably took a risk here doing this one, especially going from the Merman video. I know it's hard to sit through them, so I try to do a little something else to get people to, but I also it's hard for me sometimes to do Merman type videos. This one at least I could have a little bit of a laugh, but it's a great board game. And again, we got to get those keywords in the video too. So maybe what I'll do here while I'm talking, 25 board games. I'm going to read board games off for the out. Because this is all about board games. And this is all about algorithms. So let's do some board games with me. Ready, everybody? Board games. Monopoly. Connect 4. Trouble. Chess. Sorry. Hungry, hungry hippo. Tiddlywinks. Yahtzee. Wheels on the bus. Clue. I'm running out of screenshots here. Anybody else got a few to throw in the bottom? Tiddlywinks, right? Rummy Cube, Candyland, Scrabble, Guess Who. Anybody want to play any of these games with me? Checkers, Chinese checkers. All right, I think that's enough, right? I think we read enough. But obviously, above all those games, the game I just mentioned is totally the game to get and play. So play with your kids, play with your friends, play with your mom, play with your dad. Play it on your wedding night. Why not? Condition yourself further. Thanks, everybody, for being here on my cool game review of a board game that's not suspicious at all. Thanks again, everybody. Bye. Hey, everybody. Just wanted to do a quick video because, sometimes you have a feeling in the pit of your stomach that something's wrong with the world, and there is something wrong with the world. And I have to make sure I stay on top of my game here on my channel and upload as much content as I can to get, into that partner program so people can find important content like this. So that's what I'm doing here. And when I talk about something being wrong in the world, of course I'm talking about people who are not accepting of things like you see on the screen. Okay, so if you haven't heard, I'm actually in the process of identifying myself as a fish. That's right, as a fish. And I found this article on Core, and I know a lot of you are thinking the same thing because I'm sure sometimes you might eat fish for dinner. Maybe you recently went to an aquarium and you saw a catfish and you were like, you know what? I could identify. I could see myself being, I was born a catfish in the wrong body. And I want to help you guys out with exploring the identity of how to become a fish. So let's do that together.
Guys.
Have you ever wondered what it would be like to identify yourself as a fish? While humans and fish are distinctly different in their physical characteristics and biological makeup, exploring the concept of fish identity can be an intriguing thought experiment.
Okay,
in this article, we'll delve into the idea of identifying as a fish, examining the aspects of personal identity, the significance of fish characteristics, and the potential implications of such identification. So let's dive into this imaginative exploration of fish identity and how one might begin to the process of identifying themselves as a fish. Now, it's important for me to note with the mental health crisis we're having, excuse me, gotta watch the algorithm. This is a real post. Okay, this was really posted. Someone really wrote it, and you can see. Remember, I always talk about the wording of a lot of these articles. You see how they word that? They make it just sound like this person knows what he's talking about. That's a lot of the psychological ops that are going on. These people sound like they know what they're talking about, right? Then they say stuff like, well, the physical characteristics and biological makeup, exploring the concept of fish identity can be an intriguing thought experiment. Oh, yeah? Oh, no, I would probably say it's pretty much your 100% insane if you're thinking you're a fish and you not only do you need serious help, but you need to be committed like yesterday, okay? But, of course, that's just me being judgmental. I'm joking around, of course, because I am, obviously somebody who identifies as a fish. So, anyway, moving forward, let me continue this real article that was really written by a person. And again, if you end up going to the aquarium and you feel drawn to identify as a, you tell me, salmon, right? I mean, a swordfish, maybe you'll see an octopus. If that's what you're feeling, go for it, bro. Go for it. Okay, so understanding personal identity. Personal identity refers to the unique characteristics, experiences, and attributes that define an individual. It encompasses various aspects such as physical appearance, gender identity, cultural background, beliefs, and values. See how the wording? Some kid would read this and they'd be like, "Whoa, okay, all right." So I guess that 2-second thought I might have had about, well, I wonder what somebody goes to the aquarium and be like, I wonder what life like a fish would be like living underwater, right? I mean, that's okay to think, right? Seen a bird, you're probably like, wonder what it'd be like to fly around all day. And then 2 seconds later, you go back to reality, right? Because you're not a bird or a fish. You don't sit there and go, I'm going to become a fish now because I just thought about it, right? Well, this article is pretty much kind of like, oh, you thought about becoming a fish? You're like, well, I did for like 3 seconds. Wonder what it would be like to like swim around. Like, do they get cold in the water? Tell me, I was thinking about it. Well, wait a minute. Now I could actually become one? Huh. And this sounds really intellectual, this article, so maybe I should embrace it. And of course, that's the next part of the article, embracing fish characteristics. Or just becoming clinically insane. To embark on the process of identifying oneself as a fish, one must embrace the defining characteristics of fish and reflect upon their significance. I can't even believe this is real. Fish possess, I can believe this is real. That's the scary part. I can because I literally Google searched this, so I guess I'm just as guilty, right? Oh man. Fish possess a range of traits that differentiate them from humans, including gills for respiration, fins for locomotion, and scales for protection. Imagining oneself with these characteristics can serve as a starting point for exploring the fish identity. Gills, breathing underwater, which is the ability to breathe underwater through gills, is a fundamental characteristic of fish. Imagining oneself with gills can evoke thoughts of freedom, adaptability to aquatic environments, and a connection to the vast underwater world. Reflecting on the significance of breathing underwater and the unique experiences it entails can deepen the exploration of fish identity. I love how this is worded, of course. I love how we're like just reading this, right? The gills can evoke thoughts of freedom, adaptability, aquatic environment. I love how this is not, like somebody who wrote this is not immediately arrested. The police aren't out there doing, not arrested that they should be arrested, but I mean, looked at and monitored for mental health. And I love, like, if you question anything on the news, you're deemed as someone who has mental health problems, you're dangerous, etc. But talking like this and telling people how they could actually identify as a fish, and a kid out there will probably stumble upon this is okay and normal, right? Does anyone see what's wrong with this? Now, I know everybody here sees what's wrong with it, but still. Anyway, fins, navigating the aquatic realm, scales, armor, and protection. And these are just the headlines, because this, honestly, if you look this up, there's like, this is paragraph after paragraph. I can't even read all this because I don't need my hair to catch fire. But it says connection to nature, exploring alternative identities, personal reflection, and growth. In conclusion, while physically becoming a fish is not possible, hey, who are they to say that? Exploring the concept of identifying oneself as a fish can be a thought-provoking exercise. By embracing fish characteristics, reflecting on their significance, and considering the implications of fish identity, individuals can gain a deeper understanding of personal identity, foster a connection with nature, and explore the boundaries of self. Remember, this exploration exists within the realm of imagination, but its impact on personal growth and understanding can be profound. Then it says, before I jump off a bridge here, then it has FAQs. Can I physically I'm not even kidding. FAQs. Can I physically transform into a fish? No, do we really need an FAQ for this? Does anyone out there need an FAQ? Apparently. No, human beings cannot physically transform into a fish. The exploration of fish identity is a thought experiment that allows for imaginative reflection of personal identity. Number 2, are there people who genuinely identify as fish? While some individuals may have a strong affinity for fish or feel a deep connection to aquatic environments, identifying as a fish in a literal sense is not a common occurrence. Fish identity is primarily explored as a thought experiment or metaphorical exploration of personal identity. Number 3, how can exploring alternative identities benefit personal growth? Exploring alternative identities encourages self-reflection, empathy, and open-mindedness. It can broaden one's understanding of personal identity, challenge social norms. Do I need to read on?
Still going.
Hi. This is okay on the internet that's controlled by the government. This kind of stuff is okay, right? Encouraging people to identify as a freaking fish flopping around, right? Next thing you know, these people are identifying as fish. Are going to be rolling around in the road. People are like, it's a good time. What's the big deal? And then I'm like, all right, if that's fine, then why can't I speak freely? Well, you're questioning the news. How dare you question my reality? Well, could we get a background check on the people in the news and the agencies that make the news? No, we can't. I'm identifying